Hello, and welcome back to the Bix Beiderbecke Museum. Today we continue our video tour with Bix leaving the Wolverines to forge a new path. The band had reached a new height of recognition and popularity, but Bix's choice would lead him in a far different direction. Wild reviewers and happy dancers were not the only people in the crowd while the Wolverines played at the Cinderella Ballroom. Among some of the notable names that would get the band additional recording sessions and gigs playing with others were Nick LaRocca of the original Dixieland Jazz Band, the self-proclaimed king of jazz bandleader Paul Whiteman, and a manager for Gene Goldkette. It was the Goldkette manager, representing Goldkette and his many different orchestras, that offered Bix a place in one of them in October of 1924. Bix attended a few more shows and one last recording session with the Wolverines before putting in his notice and leaving the band that had first given him widespread fame on October 13th. At 21 years old, Bix left for Detroit, Michigan to join the Goldkette Orchestra. Despite his talent, however, Bix would find himself out of sync with his new bandmates and the Goldkette executives. Still unable to read sheet music, and often not needing to with his focus on highly improvised solos, Bix failed to impress the executives at Victor Recording. They stressed the ability to read sheet music for the uniformity it brought to every playthrough, which was something Bix, whose flights of fancy resulted in wildly different solos on each take, simply couldn't incorporate into his own style. What had helped make him the star of the Wolverines now caused him to return to Davenport after just 2 months with the Goldkette Orchestra. In early 1925, however, Bix would reach out to some of his former Goldkette bandmates to record Davenport Blues, a song that was all Bix's, at the Jeanette Recording Studio in Indiana. Bix didn't stay unemployed for long. Through June of that year, Bix played with the Charlie Straight Orchestra in Chicago. But that summer, he found a different band to play with out by Detroit, a Goldkette Satellite Orchestra that would lead him to a man who would be another longtime friend. Frankie Trombauer, or Tram as he was often known, played saxophone and had heard Bix play the previous year at the Cinderella Ballroom while he was still with the Wolverines. Tram had liked what he heard, because he mentioned later that he said to himself, "If I ever have my own band again, that's my boy." Tram followed up on that statement, and before long, Bix and Tram would begin to make waves with a new band led by Tram himself. That fall, the pair moved down to St. Louis and at the Arcadia Ballroom quickly began to wow and delight dancers and audiences with their music. By December, Bix would write to Hoagie that, "We have the absolute hottest band in the country, panicking the town." During this time, Tram proved he would be another of Bix's guardian angels. He worked with the cornetist to help him learn to read sheet music, encouraging and studying him. Though it would never be a skill he was known for, the pair found mild success. Trams Band would eventually pick up another free spirit by the name of Pee Wee Russell, a clarinet player who Bix would also develop a close friendship with. For 8 months, Trams Band led a good life in St. Louis, becoming one of the hottest bands in the nation. In the case you can see here, we have a number of items of Frankie Trombauer's and some working pages of his memoir. Pride of place goes to the C melody sax that once belonged to Tram himself, along with the mouthpieces and reeds that a musician would need. The photo to the left of the instrument shows Tram holding this very sax across his knee. On the far right, we have pages from Trams Memoir, looking back at his time working with Bix. With Tram as the bandleader, Bix on cornet, and Pee Wee on clarinet, the band became so hot that the trio caught the attention of none other than Gene Goldkette. Goldkette, looking to compete with Paul Whiteman, made Tram an offer that the band leader only accepted on one condition, that Bix would be joining him in the move back to the Goldkette Orchestra. This time, Bix's inability to read sheet music was an issue that could be overlooked. Tram, Bix, and Pee Wee Russell left their band while still at its peak and headed back to Detroit. Please join us in the next video as we watch Bix's career with Goldkette take off with a summer unlike any other at Hudson Lake.